take a look at slope and y-intercept. Okay, so we got 4 different equations we're going to look at, all real quick, on how to solve slope or y-intercept. So this is our first one here, x plus 4y equals 12. Okay, and before we can start that, we want to remember that we always want it in y equals mx plus b. Okay, b is the y-intercept. Don't worry about y, it says b, but b is the y-intercept, x is the slope. M would be some fraction or some number in front of x. So we'll go over how to do that, right? So our first thing is we have x plus 4y equals 12. So we want to rewrite that so that it's in this y equals mx plus b form, right? So what we're going to do, subtract x from both sides. Okay, so now we have 4y equals negative x plus 12. Okay, so we have the y equals, right, it was mx plus b, right? It is negative x plus 12. 12 is the b. Okay, but we haven't solved it yet because we still have this 4, right? We need to just say y divided by 4, divided by 4, y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, there, now we have it written correctly, right? So if they ask for the slope, negative 1/4, okay? That's our slope. If they ask for the y-intercept, 3. That's the y-intercept, okay? That's how you do that, okay? That's really pretty simple, but you just have to make sure you know y equals mx plus b. Set it up that way. If we don't know that, we're not going to get slope or y-intercept questions correct outside of just good guessing. Okay, here's the next one. We just saw, if you can only know one thing, is knowing how to set up y equals mx plus b. If you do that, you've got some questions correct. Okay, now they give you these 2 data points, right? And within this, it's always okay, so that says x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so the 0 is x1, the 3, y1, 5 is x2, 6 is y2. And then our formula, trying to find slope, that's what this will be asking you for, is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, and so what is that? If y2 is 6 minus y1 is 3. That's y2, 6, y1, 3. X2 is 5 minus x1 is 0. Okay. Sorry, we're still good here, right? And so x minus 3 is 3. 5 minus 0 is 5. 3/5. That's our slope, right? So reviewing, when you see these 2 sets, you're subtracting this one minus this one minus this one. Again, this little formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is just one you have to know. Okay. So what about this? So what if they give you something like this? Y equals negative 5x. And they say, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? Right? Usually they'll just ask for one or the other. Okay? So remembering it was y equals mx plus b, right? Okay, so we don't have a b. So what does that mean? It means b is 0, right? So this and this, just adding 0, is exactly the same. Okay, so now we know y-intercept 0. What's the slope? Right, it's that number right before the x, right? -5. Slope, -5. Okay. Not too hard. Some of you will get thrown by that y-intercept when they don't see it. That just means it's 0. Okay, probably the hardest one. Same thing. Most of math, the hard ones are just like, you just have to know like a formula or what to do. Okay, 6x plus 3y equals 6. Find the y-intercept. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, to find the y-intercept, is you just make x equals 0. Okay, so if you do that, you can find slope much faster, right? So if x equals 0, that means 6 times 0 plus 3y equals 6. Okay, 3y equals 6. Divide each side by 3. Y equals 2. And that would be the y-intercept there. Okay, and that's really all you got to know. If you then have to go and find slope, then you would plug in this y equals 2 up here. We can do it, right? Then it would be, right, 6x plus 3 times 2 equals 6. You know, like this, right? So 6x plus 6 equals 6. Get rid of that, subtract 6 from both sides. Getting hard to see. 6x equals 0. And then we divide each side by 6. X would be 0, right? And that's how we would